Hello, welcome to making baked scone or baked bannock, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to throw on my apron here. And I've already washed my hands, so we won't go through that step again, but we should be washing our hands for about 20 seconds to make sure we have no germs on there. And always practicing safe food handling. So it's a lot of the same process as yesterday as we made the fried scone. Again, we're going to use all-purpose flour, Robin Hood, and my cups. We're going to use 2 of these. And they just have to be exact, so 1, 2. So again, you can kind of guesstimate how much you're going to make depending on how many people you're cooking for and how many you're going to serve. So that is 2 cups, about, give or take. And again, you're going to use your magic baking powder, and you're going to use a teaspoon, about half. And then you're going to put your salt in, and I usually measure in my palm. I'd say maybe it's a half a teaspoon, not that much. I'm going to throw it in, and you're going to stir that up. Make sure it's all nice and combined. So there's a couple of different extra steps in here that aren't with the fried scone. Because we are doing baked bannock, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to turn on the oven now to make sure it gets nice and hot for baked bannock. You're going to want to bake it at maybe about 350, 355, depending on how hot your oven is. Not too hot because it's going to burn. So we're going to get the oven nice and hot. And so everybody makes theirs a little bit different. Myself, I use butter in mine. And I've softened the butter, and I usually add it in after I've mixed all the dry ingredients. And then I kind of work it through with my fingers. And then we're going to add the milk. So we're going to add the butter in. And you can just kind of work it all through until it gets very, almost kind of like pastry. If you've ever made pastry before, that's what it's going to kind of like. You're going to want to make sure it's really, really, really mixed and munched in there. So it's going to look like this. You can see the consistency of what it looks like. And this is going to give it a texture of real kind of like flaky, crispy bannock. I know some people use lard, which was a huge thing back in the day, was to use lard in your bannock. Some people don't use butter at all. Again, it's going to be the same process. You're going to make sure that's all mixed up. And then you're going to make your well again like I did last time. So what I mean by well is like there's a little well inside here, and you're going to add the milk slowly. But some people sour their milk a little bit. You can add a couple of drops of vinegar, and this helps to sour it. The reason why you use a little bit of souring is because it helps to produce bubbles in there, which is kind of like almost like a tea biscuit. You only use a little bit, you don't use a lot. And you're going to stir that up. A couple more drops, not much more. It's not going to really sour with the time, but it is going to kind of change a little bit. And then you're going to add that in slowly like you did the water yesterday, except this is milk this time. And you're going to stir it again like you did yesterday. Slowly pulling from the sides to get a nice bubbly mixture here. You see there's bubbles in there. Again, you want the bubbles, because if you don't have the bubbles, then you're not going to have nice fluffy scone. Keep on mixing. Again, what I have here in the measuring cup isn't exactly what you're going to use. It depends on how much flour you use, and again, how many people you're cooking for depends on how much liquid you're going to use as well. So again, you're still mixing. You can see it's kind of getting a little bally there. I'm going to add some more milk. Stirring. Some more milk. It's almost kind of like making tea biscuits if you've ever made tea biscuits. I'm just going to keep on stirring. Now you're almost getting to this part where you're going to use your hands. You can see the consistency, it's almost like kind of doughy, like a big ball of dough if you're making bread. Yeah, that's where you're going to want to, again, have your flour handy so you can do a little bit of roll out here. I'm going to roll it out and put it in the pan, and then we're going to put it in the oven at 350, and we will check back on how that's going to look. So we have our pan that we are going to grease to put your scone in. So you're just going to use your fingers, obviously clean hands, just so that it doesn't stick and burn. You have your scone here, and again you're going to flour your hands a little bit. Again, you don't want to handle it too much, because then it's going to be too hard. And you don't want hard bread because it doesn't taste so good. And flour your fingers. And you're going to knead it a little bit. Again, not too much, because then you're going to end up with hard bread. Again, I've made just a small one, if you can see how big it is. You don't want to smush it and get all the squishiness out of it again, because it's not going to be real fluffy if you do that. So you just place it in the pan like so, and you can kind of smush it out if you want, but I try not to. You want to put it in the oven. We're going to put it in there for, let me see, about half an hour maybe, and keep on checking on it. Again, it really depends on how thick it is and how big of a piece of bannock you've made. So we're going to put it in the oven now, in the middle, and we'll be back soon, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. So we just pulled it out of the oven. It's nice and brown on top, nice and cooked in the bottom. You can actually still see the steam coming off of it. So most people prefer to put butter on theirs. I have one of my favorites here, Good Preserves, a Aboriginal-owned company specializing in crafted jams, and they're really, really good. Shout out to a couple of my favorite chefs, and it's always good to have homemade stuff. So their jams are absolutely amazing. So that's one of my favorites to have with scone. Really good. Or you can also use maple syrup or butter. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and wish I could share, but let's save this for tomorrow morning. Bye.